ciao ragazzi del GGM Studios, del Toto Fan Club Italia, e anche un saluto particolare ai ragazzi del Toto Network. Abbiamo l'opportunità di avere oggi qui a Montebelluna il grandissimo Simon Phillips for a leader interview. Okay, Simon, first question for you. When this Clinic 2 will be ended, what are your future projects and what is the status of your new solo album?
Was the first question is when is this the Italian Clinic tour finished?
Will be ended.
Actually, we're only doing 3. We're doing Montebelluna tonight. We're doing Modena tomorrow, and I believe we're playing at the Ferrari factory. And where we going? Florence, yes.
Florence.
And then after that, I will. Thank you. I will go home, but before that, I'm going to go to Britain. To the Formula 1 Grand Prix to see the race at Silverstone.
You are a Formula 1
big fan. Big race fan generally, Formula 1 mainly, but any kind of European racing or single-seater racing, yeah.
You are a Ferrari supporter?
I'm, you know, it's funny, I'm a supporter of everything. I don't particularly, I follow it more, not as a fan, I follow it more as a business actually, and a sport. You know, I mean, they're all fantastic. It's just some of the teams have huge resources like Ferrari, and some of them don't have such resources like Williams and Force India, but they're still pretty amazing. You know, yeah, I love it.
And what's the status of your solo album?
Well, 5 tracks are recorded. One track is ready for mixing, so that means it's finished. Another track is almost ready for mixing. Needs one more overdub on it. What else? How are the other 3 doing? The other 3 are in various stages. Actually, one of them I'm hoping that Steve Lukather will play on. He agreed. It's just a question of getting. You know, he's very busy these days. So, but I hope that will happen because I kind of it's perfect for him. It's more of a it's a ballad, but it really is perfect for him. Pino Palladino is playing on it. Phillips is playing on it. I hope Lenny Castro will play on it. So that's nearly ready.
Is it Babco?
What?
Babco? Jeff Babco?
He hasn't played on anything yet. Not yet, but he will. I mean, I hope so. Again, it's a question of, you know, he's very busy now, so trying to get hold of him.
It's a talented genius.
Oh, it's great. Then the 2 other tracks need a bit of work. Mike Stern has played on them. Bill Evans, Anthony Jackson on bass, and Jim Beard on keyboards. Philippe Sace is doing some orchestral stuff, orchestral arrangements, because the record's going to be very different. It's not your typical. It's not my typical fusion record. It's, if anything, it's world fusion. If I had to put a thing on it, so it's going to be pretty wide. And I'm obviously looking to write and record 5 more tracks. I have some written, not finished. It's just a question of getting time, but I'm hoping it'll be done by the end of the year.
Okay. In the last NAMM show, we've seen your last Tama drum set, the Simon Phillips anniversary kit, in a limited edition. What are the most important characteristics of this instrument, and did you give some advices for this fabrication?
Yeah, it's my idea. Basically, the concept of the kit came from the signature snare drum. It was as with everything with Tama. They ask you, and you have about 15 seconds to kind of come up with an idea. So I didn't really have a lot of time to think about it, but the concept of the shell, of mixing shells, I hadn't seen before, actually. It seems now everybody's doing it. And in fact, Tama did it with a range of drums called Bubinga Birch, which is actually really good. I've used them on some clinics. But I had no idea about it. Nobody told me about that. I just thought, the problem I had with Bubinga on its own is they're quite heavy and they're very rigid. And they sound great in the studio and they sound great live too, but they feel a little bit hard. I can actually feel them, but I'm very, my feet and hands are very sensitive to what is happening with the instrument itself. And I could feel it was kind of just too heavy, too hard, and also tuning wise I couldn't get them up as high as I'd like them. They just choked. It sounded great low down. So, and the maple, I've always loved the maple drums, and I can tune them as high as I want, they still sound big. And they're very light. It's amazing. So I thought, well, maybe, and there was a part of the sound that I liked in the Babinga recording wise that I didn't get from the maple. So I thought, well, hell, why not try them both? It'll make a lighter drum. So that's the concept of it, and we applied that concept from the snare drum to the whole of the kit. It was a bit of an accident, was Tama took my word literally. When I said copy the snare drum, they took them exactly literally and put every drum had a reinforcing hoop. And when I opened the box, I was like, oh great, you know, and I went, oh no, because I hadn't expected to see the reinforcing hoop, you know. But I tuned them up and put them on. I thought, damn, these sound beautiful. You know, bass drum, 15 inches deep, a little shallower. But I did get them to make a couple of drums without the reinforcing hoop. Same thing, it arrived, I opened it, tuned it up, and I went, wow, it didn't sound as good. So that's yeah, they're beautiful. But of course they're limited, so I have, how many do I have? I have 3 of those. I have one in the States, one in Europe, one in Japan. So the one I'm using in Italy is a Star Classic. So.
But the Maple Star Classic.
Maple Star Classic tonight, yeah, which is.